for the soul.
Why are we advocating for Black and brown students, might you ask? Well, it's simple. Every time they tell us we can't, we will. Because it's our human right. We believe that our children deserve the same opportunities as anyone else. We believe that they can achieve greatness. And it's our duty as parents and stakeholders to ensure that they have the resources and support that they deserve. There is no stopping us. We have the power to make a difference, and we will. Our voices will be heard, and our demands will be met. Our children's education is not negotiable. It is our responsibility to fight for their success. And today, as we head to the state capitol, let's remember that we are not just parents. We are advocates, leaders, and drivers of change. And together, we make an impact. And we will ensure that the California state budget addresses the needs of our Black and brown students.
Yeah, we just like to learn a little bit more about y'all and what brings us to LAO.
Yeah, I mean, we can share a little bit of more. Yeah, I've been in office. It's gonna be 19 years. This is my only real job I ever had. I grew up in La Puente. My parents are both immigrants from Mexico. I'm the oldest of four, so I was the first in my family to graduate and to go to college. I went to UC Irvine. I really like math, so I was going to be an engineer, and then I realized that I think engineering is boring. So I had to figure out what to do, and I became a sociology major because what I care more about is people, not machines, and so that's what I was interested in trying to do more of. And I ended up stumbling on this thing called public policy, which I didn't know about. To be honest, I was just afraid to get a job, and I was like, what grad programs can I go to that I can do instead of getting a job? And I ended up getting a master's in public policy at UC Berkeley. And so I came here without any expertise in education policy, but it's this issue that I've always been more interested in. I think for me, going to college, I feel like we were in our own little bubble. La Puente is like 90% Latino. You kind of live in your own world. You kind of don't know what the rest is like. And then when I went to Irvine, I was in the dorms, and these were not people who were like at fancy private schools, but just even the kind of public school education they got compared to mine, I was like, oh wow, that's very different, right? You had how much SAT prep, and you had how many classes available? So I think that just to me was was kind of what reminded me of like how big the difference are. So anyways, that's a big part of why I've always been interested in policy and why I'm still here doing the work that we do.
Love it.
Yeah, I haven't been here 19 years. So I'll be a little bit more recent. I don't know where to start. So I grew up in Covina, West Covina, and went to prison at 18. Came home about a year later, and then went to community college and didn't know what the hell I wanted to do with my life. And it was just like, I'm gonna take these classes. What do I need to graduate? And my partner, who at the time was not my wife, was just helping me along that process. And I was just kind of just looking very nearsighted. I just gotta take these classes to get this degree. And then, all right, I got the degree. What do I like? Transfer? I don't know, like Cal State, and ended up getting a teacher at the community college that was a mentor. And I'm like, hey, UCLA would like somebody like you. And kind of instilled that, I didn't even think that I can go to UCLA. And so I applied. I got into UCLA. I ended up turning them down to go to UC Berkeley because of the underground scholars, formerly incarcerated student group over there. And so I transferred to UC Berkeley, majored in sociology, similar to what Andrew was talking about, where I was like, I don't know if I want to go out. Like, what am I gonna? I have this record. I'm kind of concerned. Like, even though like people say, all the research that had been done at that time was about having a criminal record and going for resume, but nothing really was about does a bachelor's degree offset that. And so I was kind of still concerned and wanted to go to policy school because I didn't think that I wanted to pursue a career just researching things and in a sense not doing anything about it. I got tired of reading whole books about this issue. It's the conclusion. What do you do about it? And I was like, further research is needed. Okay, it was like policy school. Like,
wow.
Do something that was more impactful. And I initially wanted to do criminal justice related issues. Did the internship at the LAO and then really enjoyed the work, even though I wasn't Health and Human Services at the time, and I discovered that I really just like to engage in different issues and learn new things and kind of more analytical, and also discovered that maybe criminal justice for me just a little too close to home, and kind of just maybe step away a little bit from that. I could be more partisan. I don't know if that's not the case. But so I really didn't have any K-12 education experience before, but besides going to public school my whole life, even my university, I went to public schools. And I've just been in my role at this whole time, and I really enjoyed it and getting to engage. I think that I appreciated that more so than maybe other assignments. A lot of my assignment area is kind of just inherently equity focused, just nature of LCFF, alternative education, things of that nature. So I've been able to, that's kind of why I'm stuck where I'm at, and I can't see myself going anywhere anytime soon.
I think my interest in education policy is really more similar to Edgar's, where went from growing up in Colton to UCLA, and then seeing it just being very different and recognizing that, like, oh, you went to public school, I went to public school, and like we didn't have the same experiences and lifestyles growing up. So after I graduated UCLA, I joined Teach for America and became a teacher. I was a kindergarten teacher in Detroit, Michigan. And that experience really was what kind of motivated me to go to graduate school and pursue public policy. So I went to, so from UCLA, I went to Michigan, and then I went to Carnegie Mellon University and got a master's in public policy, and we also did the internship program at the LAO, and was very much, I know you cover all issue areas in state government, but please, I want to cover K-12 education issues. That was really what I'm most passionate about, and specifically a lot of the early education as a kindergarten teacher, wanting to be involved in some of the preschool expansion initiatives, and so that's where I am today.
That was like I was told that I should ask a two-part question, so that was the second part to that question. What keeps you up at night as it relates to K-12 education policy principles?
Don't post this stuff on there, right?
I'll leave this part out.
Yeah, I mean, I think the hard part, I would say, this is just almost everything about what we do because we work for the state, and because of the relationship between state and locals. It's sort of like it's how much do we micromanage? Maybe that's the best way to put it, right? And so I think there are so many cases where we micromanage because bad things happen locally and people aren't happy, and so there's a push at the state level to do something. But then oftentimes when you see the consequences of the policies that were implemented, it creates other problems that we have not, we thought we were fixing this problem, but now we made this an administrative nightmare, and you can't actually innovate locally to actually meet the outcomes. So I think it's not one thing in particular. That's just the constant, I think, question of like all these things that we're going to do at the state level. Is this actually going to? How does this actually look like when you get to, get to local level? And being on a school site council has been very interesting because even for us, here we talk about there's a state and there's districts, and then now I get to see like the school, and then there's the school, and there's this huge in there, right? So it's like, okay, so we said to do this because we thought everybody was going to know that this is how it was going to work now, and maybe the people at the district kind of understand, but there's all these other things happening locally that they don't get to. So I think that's it's sort of trying to be helpful. Like, can micromanage when we think it will matter, and how do we make sure that the things that we're doing are the things that move the needle? Because we know that there's lots of issues that we have, that have not changed the whole time I've been here, right? That continue to be a problem.
I mentioned I have a 7-month-old, so it's keeping me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I can answer this question very well. I think this is what's keeping me up at night is my son, but also we had a few reports that we had to get out this month, and just a whole bunch of work associated with that. So just waking up and like, oh, did I miss something? Keeping me up in the recent weeks. I can't really comment. I'll have broader comments for sure.
I'm kind of...
As I sat and listened to each one of their stories, I was so compelled as a parent, a Black parent of Black children, and realizing that to reflect on the essence of our human experience goes so much deeper than just the bustling corridors of power at the Capitol. We witnessed a remarkable phenomenon, a convergence of diverse perspectives, a mosaic of stories, and a tapestry woven within the threads of our shared humanity. In this chamber, we stand not as isolated beings, but as interconnected souls traversing the intricate pathways of life. We're bound by the common thread of our existence, united by our capacity to perceive, to empathize, and to understand. And today we embarked on a journey towards dismantling the barriers of prejudice and bias that often cloud our vision. We've embraced the noble task of seeing beyond the surface, beyond the veil of assumptions, and recognizing the inherent worth and dignity within each and every one of us. For it's through this transformative lens, free from the shackles of judgment and preconception, that we can truly appreciate the beauty of our collective humanity. It's only through this profound shift in perspective that we can unearth the treasures of empathy, compassion, and understanding buried within our souls. As members of the Black Parent Network, we hold steadfast to the belief that the best outcomes for our scholars arise from a foundation built on inclusivity, compassion, and understanding. We advocate for a public policy framework that embraces the richness of diversity, that amplifies the voices of the marginalized, and that fosters an environment where every child can thrive and flourish. So as we bid farewell to this hallowed ground, let us carry forth the lessons learned and the bonds forged. Let us continue to champion the cause of empathy and understanding in all our endeavors, knowing that in seeing the best in ourselves, we illuminate the path towards seeing the best in others. So until we meet again, let us walk together, hand in hand, towards a brighter future, a more compassionate future for all. Thank you, and may peace and understanding guide your way. Dear friends and advocates for educational equity, are you ready to be a part of a movement that empowers Black and Brown students to reach their full potential? Are you passionate about bridging the gap between state and local initiatives to create lasting change in our communities? Then join us on our mission to champion academic success and wellness for all children. The Black Parent Network invites you to subscribe and stay tuned for our action plan, a blueprint for transformative change in our educational systems. Together, we will work tirelessly to bridge the gap between districts and parents, teachers and staff, fostering a collaborative and inclusive environment where every voice is heard and valued. Our commitment is clear: to ensure that every Black and brown student has access to quality education, equitable resources, and unwavering support on their journey to success. But we could not do it alone. We need you, our community of advocates, to stand with us, to lend your voice, your passion, and your expertise to this vital cause. By subscribing to our network, you will be first in line to receive updates, action alerts, and opportunities to get involved. Together, we will leverage our collective strength to drive meaningful change in policy, practice, and culture, creating a brighter future for generations to come. So are you ready to join us in this fight for educational equity? Are you ready to be a part of something truly transformative? Subscribe now and be a catalyst for change in the lives of Black and brown students everywhere. Together, we can bridge the gap, create inclusive environments, and pave the way for a future where every child has the opportunity to thrive. Join us. Subscribe now. In solidarity, Jeremy Renee, Black Parent Network.